Hi everyone, it's Shooter Rex here. So I will be doing a cleaning video of this SIG SAUER 1911 Max Michel upon a request of a YouTube viewer. And so this is just to show my way of cleaning and probably the stuff that I use to clean this 1911. First of all, let's do a quick safety check. So chamber is empty. We're going to remove the mag and put it off to the side. I use a break-free CLP. This is the cleaner lubricant preservative. There's a bunch of, like a couple of cloth in it that I use for the external parts of the gun. I also use this CLP that is mostly a cylinder that I could spray on the internal parts. I also use a bore snake. It's also good to have a couple of rags with you. I also tend to use your regular Q-tips. So first of all, I would like to be wearing goggles like this just to protect my eyes. And now we're gonna use this bushing wrench. So you press it down and you turn it clockwise. And you just got to be careful releasing this spring right here. So what I will do is I'm going to have a white rag to put all my stuff. That's the spring. So the first thing is, once you've removed the springs, you line it up this way, and then that way you can release this pin right here. And you should be able to remove the entire slide after that. So the guide rod is already out, and then you can slide the entire rod towards the front. There you go. As you can see, everything is dirty. So what we'll do is we're just going to use first a cloth to kind of just wipe off all the particles. Just like that. What I usually do is I spray some of this CLP inside the barrel. And not just inside, but I also spray it on the outside of it, making sure that each parts I try to soak it in, and then eventually I will be wiping each one with the CLP. So again, I'm just using a regular cloth for that. And while we have some lubricant inside the barrel, that's when I'm also going to use this bore snake, and I'm just going to insert it from the back through the front of the barrel. And I would do this maybe 4 or 5 times. Some would actually put a little bit of the CLP or lubricant on the bore snake itself, but because I already did that with this barrel, that should be enough, as the bore snake would be passing this through the hole too. Again, this is just my way of cleaning it. Inserting it this way. There you go. You can see how dirty that is. We're going to let it pass one more time. So we're going to slide it in sideways. A little bit of that, and then just inserting it this way. And that should be good. So now let's focus on the slide. I'm going to be using now one of this CLP cloth clean both the outside of the slide and also the inside. Making sure that you're kind of reaching towards the sides of it, like that railing part. The Q-tip that you have used, you could actually use that to kind of guide this cloth right here. And on this side, you need to make sure that you're rubbing all the parts that are outside of the slide as well. Now I'm inserting my fingers through the barrel hole and gonna use this part just to kind of pass that through. So then I'm just gonna let this dry up a bit. I could also use the rag to wipe it down, and depending on the time that you have, and then the next part is to assemble it, and then I'll show you a little bit of something that I do so that it'll be the slide would be much more smoother. So now I'm just using this CLP wipes so that I could also clean the handle, the trigger, so the outside part of this grip like I said, you could use a cloth or a rag to kind of dry up everything a bit, just to wipe it down a bit. I'm also wiping some of those stains on the hammer itself. Okay, so that's that. We'll keep that handy just in case. Actually, we'll use it to clean a bit more on this back end of the barrel. As you can see, there's kind of like stains on it. And we just want to make sure, since we're cleaning it already, might as well make sure that everything's nice and clean. Alright, so now that I have everything wiped down using a dry cloth, I didn't show that part because otherwise this will be a very long video. Now it's going to be time to just put the slides together. We're going to start first with the barrel facing this way, and then you kind of just put this piece up, and then you use this guide rod facing this way, and then the spring could actually go through also when you're putting together your slides. So now let's just put the slide and insert it first. And actually I'm going to show you one thing that I do before I insert it. What I do is I put a little bit of this lubricant, just a tiny piece, and again I use this Q-tip to kind of just spread it and then on the opposite side as well. Sometimes what I do too is I put it a little bit on the end of the barrel here. I just spread a little bit of that, not too much. And so now that I have had that, time to put it together. Okay. So the next thing is to kind of just line up everything. Now you gotta be careful when you insert this piece as you line it up. That way you want to make sure that this part is kind of in line. There you go. And you want to insert it in the middle as you're kind of moving it in, so that you don't get those what they call idiot scratch. There you go. So now that I've inserted that, I'm gonna slide it back in. There you go. Now it's just a matter of kind of lining it up together. You could actually remove the spring, so you could put this in and then reinsert the spring and use this part. To make sure that everything's kind of lined up, we push this in, insert that, slide it all the way, make sure it's locked. You want to make sure that it's locked in securely. Wiping it down. Let's do a functions check. We're going to try it with a mag just to make sure that the slides locks back. So now that we have it together, we can test out the slide. Here we go. So that's how I cleaned this SIG SAUER 1911 Max Michel. Again, you could do it in your own way, but I just find that to be the most detailed way for me to clean my gun. And the way I did it at the end, that's how I have it smooth for the slide. So there you have it. Thanks for watching with the SIG SAUER 1911 Max Michel.